So we are here with another episode of Dare to Overshare, where oversharing is a love language. Now, funny enough, my guest today is a good friend of mine, and her name happens to be Dare Taylor. I named the podcast after you, Dare.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, I'm so honored.
I know. Speaking of your name, I was actually telling my videographer behind the scenes, I was like, yeah, my friend Dare's coming on the show. And he was like, what does her name mean? Like, where did it come from? So do you want to just like quickly like tell us the behind the scenes of your name?
The lore. So there's not really a cool story with it. I really wish there was one, because then this would be the question I get asked everywhere. But my mom just always had an affinity for unique names. So like my sister's name was Alasota, which is Alaska and Minnesota put together. And then, I mean, I was born first. So I just got my unique name because she just always wanted that name for a daughter, I guess. Cool. Just something that she always really wanted. My brother's name is Devin, which is typically like a girl's name. So I don't know. She just has a knack for the unique, I guess.
I love it. Well, welcome to Dare to Overshare.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So I want to start off with a vibe check, which is basically just asking you, how are you? But I really want to know, like, how are you today? Like, in general, how is Dare doing?
Yeah, I think my vibe check right now is very gratitude. We've talked about this a little bit just between you and I, that like I've kind of embraced this phrase for 2025, that gratitude is the attitude. And I found out a bunch of really great things last night, just out of nowhere, after I just finished like two very big, very important auditions. I'm an actor and a singer-songwriter. And so my song got picked up for a movie. I found out that I'm nominated for an award, which is really cool.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So cool.
Yeah. And then like these two auditions just came out of nowhere. And I was just really excited to even have a chance to audition for these shows. And I was up till like 2 last night, just like in my bed, just looking at the ceiling like, oh my gosh, there's so many like great things coming my way. So I weirdly feel peaceful, but just like in the most like serene way of like letting the universe find me. And I just feel good.
I saw your story and you were like, it's like 1 a.m. and I'm just so grateful. And I was like, that's so cute, because I love just seeing people be excited about something and just sharing it with the world, hence oversharing. Like, I love a good overshare.
Right? I think we need more of that on social media and less of the, my life is going perfect and everything's great. We need more people just sharing like, man, I had a rough couple of months, but I'm back. Things are going great. Like we need a little more honesty, I feel like.
Yeah, like social media, I was just saying this earlier, is like a snapshot, right, of all the moments. And granted, it's fun. Some people just want to have a curated feed where everything just looks a certain way so they can get their brand deals and all their things. And like, no shade if that's what you want to do. Yeah. But like for me, and I know for you, it's like we just want to be ourselves and we just want to be out there and authentic and real. And I think there's like a beauty to that.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like your goals on social media, because like I never got into it to be in the field that I'm currently in. I got into social media because I had no one rooting for me in my corner at one phase of my life. And I knew that there's probably tons of people out there that also feel like their parents don't like get what they're into, or they just have no support system in their friend group. And so I started posting like motivational YouTube videos of me just like in my bedroom being like, you can do it. You're great. You don't have to like, you don't need support. Like you can do it as long as you believe. And then it just sort of like evolved into where I'm at now. And I'm very curious, like with you as well. Do you feel like you kind of started somewhere and now you're somewhere completely different in the best way?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've always been the kind of person to overshare things online. Like I was always very public, not because I like needed attention, but just because I felt like it was a journal for me. It was a diary for me. And I was like, hey, if this can help random people, great. But I think the way in which now I share is a little bit different than the way in which I used to. But I mean, it evolved into this show, which is literally, I'm like, now I have a platform where other people can feel comfortable and come share, which leads me into my main bulk of this show, which is oversharing is caring. So what is one thing that you are willing to overshare with me and the audience today that maybe is something you don't frequently bring up with people just because you don't think that they're gonna get it or understand you?
Yeah, this is such a big, deep question. Like, because you just never know which direction. And I wanted to wait till I was like in the moment to have an answer for this. And I want to really highlight the idea of boundaries. I don't usually talk about it a lot on my platform because I've been taught through this industry is that there's a certain amount of honesty that you can share online, but there's this like invisible line that exists where if you're telling too much, people view it as like complaining or that you're not grateful or that you just are a little bit out of touch with reality. But I believe as a content creator and as somebody who grew up watching content creators, like I watch YouTube almost every day and I grew up watching YouTubers. Wasn't a career path I wanted in the beginning, but here I am.
This is on YouTube right now.
We're here. We made it. Happy to be here on YouTube because I love having creative control, so to speak. But I firmly believe that as an audience member to some bigger YouTubers, like I used to watch Jenna Marbles all the time, her husband now Julian, who else? Just so many, Gloom Games, Azzyland, like just so many creators, that there is a line where you as a viewer have to understand that there's a boundary. I know that the popular term that's going around is like parasocial relationship.
I've actually not heard that term.
You've never heard of parasocial relationship?
No, what does it mean? I can't believe that I haven't heard of it either.
Oh,
Dare
okay.
teach me something today.
Wow, I should have brought my glasses. Well, parasocial.
Wait, just do this.
Yes. Oh, can I not do that? Am I not flexible?
Wait.
It might be my shirt preventing me. Okay.
Hello,
that's as best as I can
we're,
do.
we're smart today.
I think my shirt is
Like my
making
makeup.
me not here. I'll cheat.
There we go. Beautiful.
So
Yeah. Okay. So what is it? Parasocial
relationship. So it's when you as a consumer see somebody online and you feel like you're connected to them in some sort of way. And what happens as a consumer of content is that you feel like you know them, you'd be good friends with them. If you saw them in public, you would maybe say hi to them. And that's great that you vibe with this person who's creating content or who's a musician or whatever that they do. But there's a line as a viewer that you have to recognize that that person doesn't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know you at all. They just like, I don't want to say they see you as a number because that's not true. I think a lot of celebrities or like social media creators like can point out their individual fans that watch and consume their content, but it's more of like they don't have that same mindset about you that you do with them.
Yeah.
And there's a couple, I would say that there's a lot of my fans that get like this, but there's a few where I have to remind them in a sense that like, hey, I don't know you like that. Like I put so much of me, I overshare so much on the internet, and I have to check myself too that I'm not oversharing things that I don't want complete strangers to know. But having that respect and I guess like viewpoint that you have to be careful with who you follow, and it's okay to reach out to them and to say like, you inspire me and I wanted to do this because of you, but also recognizing that when you see them in person, they might not remember your username. They might not remember what state you're from. And if they do, congrats to that person. They've got a great memory. But there's a line where it's like, I can't remember everything about everyone. And neither can big celebrities, content creators. So just having that slice of, oh yeah, I know so much about this person, but they maybe know like a tiny bit about me, and respecting that there is this invisible boundary.
That's so fascinating. I love this subject because it's something I really never gave much thought to, but you're so right, because like I've had experiences where, not necessarily creator and fan as much, but I've had experiences where people that maybe like acquaintances or people that I may have met once or something in my life, they follow me and I'm very public and I post everything, right? Like I just post what I'm doing. I post where I'm traveling, what I like, what I don't like.
Everything is content.
Right? And these people that follow me, they sometimes, like, let's say I run into someone in person or something along those lines and they're like, oh, how was Mexico or something? And sometimes it catches me off guard because I go, wait, how do you know? And I forget that I'm the one who posted it. I posted it. Like I did that. It's me. But I forget that there's just so many people that I don't know that are watching or that are looking, and maybe they're not commenting or interacting with me, but they can see it. And so sometimes it does catch me off guard, and not in a weird way. It's never been anything where I've been like, whoa, like, why are you saying that to me or anything like that? But I never really thought about, like, there's obviously these big creators. This is another thing. If someone plays a character on a TV show or in a movie and they're a villain, right? And then they walk down the street, there's people out there who like will hate that person because they're like, you're the villain. And it's like, that's acting, right? Like that's not who I am.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know, like, again, you don't know that person at all. And like if they think you're a bad person because of a role you play or the way that you're perceived online, it's like you don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And that's why there's that fine line between appreciating someone and putting them on this like stalker pedestal. There's like that, there's a difference. I think most people are self-aware enough to understand the difference, but then there's always those stories of like this person came and knocked on the celebrity's door and like left a gift. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate that I haven't had, or if there is someone stalking me, I don't know you're there.
They're like, yes, I'm doing a good job.
Yes. Usually they want you to know that they're watching you. Like at least from what I've heard.
Somebody's watching me.
Yeah. Yeah. They like to know that it makes you uncomfortable is usually the typical trope. But I currently haven't had anybody who's completely overstepped the boundary. But I think it's because I overshare so much that if I did have that situation happening, I would be talking about it and I would be advocating so much about it and possibly moving and putting myself in a safe spot to keep myself safe. But I've only had like a couple times where someone has come up to me at a convention and they will be mad that I don't remember things about them, or they'll get frustrated that like, you don't remember my name, like I've sent you so many pictures and I've told you so much about me. And I really hate to in that moment have them leave with such a negative thought about me or about content creators that like, oh, we're all so stuck up and we just like want the fans to build bigger followings and we don't care about them, when that's simply not the case. It's just I can't know everything about everyone.
It's impossible.
All the time.
Like it
really
you would have to have a superhuman brain or memory, like Guinness Book of World Records type memory to remember details about a million different people. I mean, or however many people it's. So I'm really glad you brought that up because now I know a term. It's like I feel like I'm on Reading Rainbow or something.
Yeah.
I just learned something new.
Parasocial relationships.
Do you ever feel like, or have you had moments where you felt like, oh, I kind of just don't want to share things anymore. Like maybe I'll just be more private. Like, have you ever had that thought in your mind?
Yeah, weirdly this year I did. Normally I like to share all the projects that I'm working on because in the acting industry, you can't be like, I got an audition for this TV show. Like you sign NDAs. So that way you're not sharing spoilers or like that there's even a season coming up. So a lot of times I've been not sharing the acting side, but I've sort of adapted that mentality for my music. I have an album that there's a song that comes out every 6 to 7 weeks. And no one's done it that way. I just thought it'd be really cool to kind of, instead of going, here's my whole album, I'd rather let people ingest one song at a time. And I've been asked a lot, like, what's the next genre of song that's coming out? Or when's your next music video? And I just decided that it would be so much more interesting as a viewer to be like shocked and surprised of what genres I'm going to explore vocally or how I decide to take that song that came out and turn it into a music video, because it's like a Netflix show. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the shock value of it. But I have so many fans that always are just like, will you tell me anyways? Like, I love that they're hyped, but I've sort of started setting boundaries for creative projects that I think would be more entertaining to be shocked when
that's
they see
what's cool about being an artist or creative of any medium is you get to decide how you do it. Nobody else. It's literally up to you. So if you want to release, correct me if I'm wrong, please, Beyonce fans don't comment. Didn't she do that where she released like
Lemonade?
Right, she did. Yeah. Okay, I'm like,
wait. Oh, that one song at a time or the whole album?
Did she do one song at a time? I think she did.
Because Lemonade was like overnight. She like dropped that.
No, maybe I'm thinking about something or someone else. I don't know. I'm like, the Beehive is about to come at me for not knowing.
But they'll educate us.
Yeah, no, maybe it was that. Maybe it was just she just dropped it overnight or something like that. It's like you just get to decide what you want to do. And I like surprises too. And that's why with this show, like the oversharing and the hot takes that's coming up next, I didn't want my guests to tell me their answers beforehand. I was like, here, take this home, think about what you want to bring to the show. And I will be surprised, in the moment, which I think is so much more fun than knowing. So let's get into the hot takes. So a hot take, something that you think that most people might not agree with, but you feel very strongly about?
Ooh, that most people might not agree with. Oh gosh. Okay.
Or like a good amount of people, like,
yeah.
Ooh,
I'm trying to think of something like really spicy. The one thing that's been like on my mind the most recently is people posting their auditions. There is this huge epidemic with social media now balancing the idea of like, oh, you've got this really great audition. If they cast that role, sometimes people will post like, oh, I was up for that role and it's now exposed. I can't give anything away. NDA kind of dissolves at that point and they'll share it. And I think that that's pretty cool. Like it's nice to see like their take on it. But people are starting to post their auditions before they're even like done casting. Like,
and that's like, so you're saying that that's illegal because they signed the NDA.
That's a big no-no. Yeah.
Right. So how do they get away with it?
They just, because there's so many people, like they can't go and like send, cease and desist to people, especially if it's not like a big plot point or like a big giveaway in the show. But I feel very strongly about posting your auditions online, where I think a lot of the younger generations just see it as like, but I'm making TikTok content out of it. Or like, oh, it's for my like YouTube channel, because everybody wants to be content creators now, it seems. They think that like their video getting out there showing that they read for this role, they're singing for the show. They're thinking that like if it goes viral, casting will see and then they'll get a shot, which in my head is like a good way of thinking. But like I've talked to my agent and just tons of people I've just been asking like, what's your thoughts on this? And it seems like they don't want you to share auditions. They don't want the source material to get out. They don't want people to know that you read for it. And I don't truly understand why, if it's not giving away plot points. But I feel like there's some part of like your art that should just be for you. And for me personally, I can't post my auditions. Like I don't want people to see them. I would rather like me know that it's the best thing that I can create in my own space and let casting see it. And I just wouldn't want, for me, I wouldn't want casting to see it as like, oh, she wants to be a content creator, that's why she posted this, not an actual actor on the show or not a performer in this musical, when it's like, no, like I want to do that, but also content creating on the side. Because you can do both.
You can do both, and
Totally
they can
possible.
be different.
Yeah.
So then do you feel like if the NDA part of it wasn't a factor and there was no NDA and it was like you were allowed to post it wherever you want, do you feel like you still wouldn't? Or then would that change your mind? Because you're like, well, everyone's sharing, I can share too.
So when the NDA doesn't exist, because there was a show, I was up for a lead villain in The Penguin, which was like a huge series right now on, is it HBO? Oh, fake fan. It's huge Batman lore. Like people are obsessed with this franchise. And I was up for it and I had a really, really great audition. I studied with like 3 different people that play like murderers on other TV shows. Cause like, I don't know how to be a villain. Like I dress in like cupcake skirts. So you know what I mean? Like the fact that they saw me and were like, yeah, let's have her read for the villain. I was like, okay, ooh, like, sure. But it's hilarious because like as soon as you study and you like learn from somebody who's really good at it, you're like, oh, like it just flips you on your head a little bit and it kind of makes you go, who am I? Which I love that in acting because it makes you just be a different person essentially. But as soon as the show was up, like there was no spoilers, I actually asked my agent, I was like, hey, like, can I post this? Because I felt like this is a really strong audition. I really want to put it out there. And he was like, don't do it. Like it never bodes well. Casting doesn't see it as like a positive thing. Like if you book the show, yes, but if not, maybe don't. But part of me still wants to put that audition out there. Like, I want to give it to somebody and let them leak it for me because that's how Deadpool got made.
You want me to do it, girl?
I'll send it to you. I'll airdrop it.
Look, this is Dare to Overshare, so I can put a little clip right here.
Oh my
we
gosh.
can put your audition, but take the audio out, so it's just your facial expressions. Have you ever thought about doing that with like music in the background?
I have done that.
And you're just like,
Just like look at me go, yeah, I've done that before. And I think that that's the loophole is that like if you put music over it, you can get away with it. So you're not giving away dialogue. You're not giving away like characterizations or like if there is any plots with this character because you don't want to ruin a show.
Have you ever seen, do you know like bad lip reading?
Yes.
So like, what if you mute yours and then I'm in the background and I'm just like, I'm ad-libbing all of your stuff. And it
Yes.
just doesn't make any sense because bad lip reading is actually one of my favorite channels.
Really?
I think it is so funny. Like I die laughing at every single clip I see, every YouTube, every Instagram. Like I just think they are so funny. And I think they're the original people, as far as I'm concerned. I might be wrong. At least from when I started looking at it like 10 years ago, of just doing those ad libs for like NFL, for like different movies, different shows. It was so funny. So that could be kind of almost like a unique way to like throw up your audition and just do something really funny.
Do something comical with it. Yeah.
Because you're funny. Like you can be comical. So
Right. And I feel like at that point, as long as it's not giving away key details and you're making something funny of it, I think it should be fine.
I love that.
I'll text my agent.
Well, there's the hot take of the day.
Yeah.
Did you have any other hot takes? I know I told you you can just prepare one, but if you have another one, feel free.
Do I have another one? I believe that TikTok is the dumpster fire where you can post anything that you want and no one can judge you for it, except for if you've built your whole career off of a lie. I feel like, did you see everybody like basically just spewing their secrets when TikTok was getting deleted?
No, was it just like a trend where everyone was just saying crazy things?
It was a trend.
I was so busy during that time. I was actually working for a TikTok agency during the time of like the supposed ban. There was so much going on that I was like not consuming TikTok because I was so busy on the other side of things. So I probably missed like all of that. I know what people were doing was everyone was like saving all their videos. They were so scared that they wouldn't have access and they were like downloading all their stuff. But yeah, tell me more about that.
What was the trend? I'm forgetting it now. It's like, it's from Family Guy where he's like, since we're all gonna die, there's one thing I have to tell you. I did not care for The Godfather. And people were lip syncing it, but then they were spilling like their secrets. So it's like, since TikTok's being deleted, I have one thing I have to share with you. And like, I posted one that people are kind of still up in arms about where there's this dance that I go, not viral anymore, but it used to go viral every time I posted it. It's the sweet little bumblebee dance. It's just this cute little like, doop-a-doop-a-doo, da-da, doop-a-doop. And I changed the dance a little bit, so I shimmy in it. Should have known. And it only brought me more guys to my channel. And I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I made that video where I said, like, since TikTok's getting deleted, there's one more thing I have to share with you. I don't really like the dance. And everybody was like, well, then why do you keep doing it? And it brought more engagement. So, of course, that video went viral. But people were flat out saying, like, my whole fitness empire is a lie. I got a BBL. Or like, what was this one girl?
That's funny.
There were so many of them that were just like, they were known, like staples in like health and fitness, wellness, dietitians. And like definitely one came out and said she had like a BBL. One said like one said that there was like a boyfriend in her sketch series that she would talk about. Like she would call him William or something. She was like, he's not real. I made him up. And then everybody was like, girl, what?
I wonder if some of because it was such a trend, I wonder if some of those were like actual real things. And then some people were like, I wonder if I say something crazy, if it'll go viral. But it was actually, they were saying a truth, but it was a lie of a truth.
Yeah,
right?
yes. Just
you know
to like
I mean?
get people. Oh,
Yeah.
And then they were all doing that trend afterwards where it's the like, hey, how y'all doing? Where you like kind of come into the room all coy, like I didn't just destroy my empire. But
And little did we know the next day, well, I knew the whole time it would be fine. It's
did
like,
you really? You knew?
Well, when I say I knew, I didn't have any inside scoop at all. Even though I worked for an agency, it's like we knew just as little or as much as everybody else, even people that worked at TikTok. Like, but I knew, I would say intuitively and logically, both. I knew I was I can't say 100. I was 99.9% sure. That's why I didn't panic. I didn't post anything. I was just like, TikTok's going to be fine.
Interesting.
It's making the US so much money. They're not going to just be like, sorry, we don't want all that. Because at the end of the day, the government and everyone who's in charge of making all these decisions, they're money hungry. They want, so they're going to scare you and this and that. And then at the end of the day, money always wins. And it's kind of one of those things, unfortunately. So I was like, TikTok's not going anywhere. But I know everyone freaked out when CapCut like disappeared.
I was one of those people. I was like, where is CapCut?
I was way more upset. I would have been way more upset if CapCut disappeared than TikTok, just because, I don't know, there's just something about
all
it.
my edits in the graveyard.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh, I was panicking. But yeah, my second hot take is that TikTok, you should should be allowed to just like post as if it's like your Snapchat stories. Just go in there and be like, I'm mad because my Instacart order is wrong, and I'll be there with my pitchfork for you, and just be like, yeah.
I agree. I really do believe TikTok is for that, and that's why Instagram and TikTok are just so different. And like Instagram's like more curated for most people, and TikTok is literally any thought that you have that you just have that you want to overshare about.
Yup.
That's what it is. So I love that. Thank you for your hot takes. I want to move on to ask and you shall receive. So for this one, I ask any of the listeners, anyone that's following me on social media, to bring us a question that they would like your or our opinion or answer to. So the one I have for you is from Yoli V on Instagram. What's up, girl? She said, how do you handle negativity from others and still keep your peace?
Great question. I feel like what I like to do at the end of the day is I have to remind myself that I am just like one singular person on a planet that's spinning in space. And there's going to be people who love what I do. There's going to be people that dislike what I do. I'm constantly auditioning for things where I'm like too short, too brunette, too fat, too skinny. Like there's always going to be people that look at me and look at you and will judge you no matter what you do in life. And there are times, especially like late last night is a great example, where I just have to sit there and remember that we don't know what happens when we pass away. We don't know how long we have. And I take a second of gratitude to be thankful for all the things that come to me, but also remind myself, is this joy? Do I feel like I'm living every day as if like essentially it is my last? Do I feel like I'm speaking with kindness? Do I feel like I'm making content that I would be proud of, scrolling on my own feed? And do I feel like I'm really giving people things? And obviously for other people, depending on what their content is, they create differently. But I got into social media to inspire other people. And there are a lot of times I fell down the rabbit hole of thirst trap stuff. I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect.
We've all done it. It's okay.
Right? It's easy.
I've
You
been
look
there.
good. Oh, like it's so easy.
It's okay to love on yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, of course. A little sprinkling of that.
Yeah.
But then I have to like get back to like, okay, am I still producing something that makes me happy and like fills my cup? And after those moments of thirst trappage, I'm like, okay, let's button it back up again and let's get back to what I'm really doing. And I think that's what really builds an armor, so to speak, on me when it comes to hate comments, because I know that what I'm doing is not harming anybody, is something that empowers me, and I want to empower other people. That even if I get hate comments, they don't even faze me. It's just like wax on a car. They beat up and just roll off.
I love that. Yeah. And then speaking of that, actually, I want to know about kind of like, do you have any mindfulness practices that you use to kind of like stay grounded and balanced? Because I feel like, yeah, it matters what you think in your head. It's like, oh, this comment doesn't matter and da 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 da. And it's easy to kind of like brush things off. But I feel like for me, at least, there's like practices that I do to actually like bring myself back to like groundedness so that I can feel centered and can feel calm when shit hits the fan. So do you have anything like that you do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the easiest way is by meditation. I know a lot of people say that meditating right away in the morning like works for them. I fall asleep. Meditation in the morning does not work for me. I'm more of like a 2 to 3 p.m. meditator. Like literally right now, I would be like, okay, let me go sit outside. And I find meditating to be just as hard and as easy as it like sounds, because I find myself making a list of like, I have so many things I have to do. And I have to like clock myself and be like, no, we're not making the list right now of to do. We're just taking a moment to just breathe and see where we are. And it weirdly slows down my day. As soon as I take that 5-minute meditation, I'm like, okay, I still have so much of my day left. What else can I get done? What else can I do to make myself feel accomplished, yet equally balanced in rest and reward? So I do meditate, not as much as I'd like to. I would say like once a week. Highly recommend doing more. But I also go figure skating now more than ever.
Oh my God. I didn't know you did that.
I used
Add another
to study.
talent to your, roster.
There's so many things. But I started figure skating again because it was something I did as a kid that was taken away from me. So for anybody that's watching, obviously figure skating might not be your thing, but think back to something that you did as a kid that brought you joy. I used to like sculpt little sculptures. I used to figure skate every day. And now as an adult, I take time out of my week to go and do those things because it just reminds me of like my past self. And it kind of bonds that moment of like, I didn't really get to be a child as much as I wanted to, or like a teenager. So it makes me feel that moment of like, I feel fulfilled as like a reckless child, like skating on the ice and falling. And it fills that cup of like teenager me, wish she could do all these jumps and spins. And like, here I am studying now with a coach as an adult. And that weirdly grounds me the most out of anything. But it does take time to figure out what in your past do you feel like would satisfy you as an adult.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Your inner child must flourish.
Yeah.
I like live in my inner child. I feel like it's hard for me to be serious. I feel like you're not like a super serious person either. I mean, look at your outfit. Like you're so cute all the time. But I can't be too serious for too long because I just feel like my inner child would be like, girl, what are you doing? Like, let's play, you know? So whatever that is, like for you, figure skating, like I think it's so cool. Sometimes I'm just sitting in my living room and I'm just like, I kind of just want to like doodle. Like I don't really draw. I don't draw well. You know what I mean? Like I'm not an artist. But like I'll just bust out some markers and just start like coloring, you know? And I might just throw it away after. But it's like, that's what I liked to do as a kid. I used to love to write poems. And that's why like I make music now or like I rap. And it's like sometimes I'll just like write a few lines that make sense to me or whatever. So I just think it's so beautiful to embrace your inner child. And I think as adults, we really forget just because we have like bills to pay and we have to do our taxes, which tax season is coming up. By the time this comes out, maybe tax season will already be over. Hope you got your money back or whatever you got to do with that. But all of these things that make us so adult and so serious, like, I got to go to the doctor and I got to pay for this. And I got to maybe, if you have kids, I got to feed the kids. I got to da-da-da. And it's like, yes, we have to do all of those things to live a successful life here in this 3D realm. But like, is that all you want to do though? Like, is that really all you want to do until you die? Like, let's create. I mean, for me, actually doing this show, this is my inner child. I've been wanting to do something like this since I was a little kid. So this is literally creating, right? We're playing, we're having fun.
Yeah.
This is a game to me, right? So I just think that that's beautiful that you mentioned your inner child. And I want everybody to stop and think right now, what's one thing you really miss from your childhood? Is it dancing? Is it horse riding? Is it
fishing?
Whatever, like crafting. Whatever it is, crafting,
building stuff,
playing in the dirt. Like, what is one thing? Playing basketball. Go do it. Just go do it. Join a league, join a club, do it by yourself. I think that's beautiful.
There's your homework.
There's your homework. Oh, I love it. So now I want to move on to note to younger self. So I know you, and we were just talking about inner child. So this is perfect because you said as a child, you weren't really like allowed to be a child, or like your childhood was kind of taken from you at a young age. If you feel like you want to talk about that a little bit, feel free to overshare on that, and then give yourself a little note that you would tell little Dare.
Yeah. So, man, how long you got? So I had a very big falling out within my family on both sides. And I won't go too deep into like what exactly happened just because I don't want to get too dark. But I lived with my mom and my stepdad for a while and we had a falling out. So I lived with my actual dad and my stepmom. And on both sides of my parents remarrying, I faced some like verbal abuse, some essay from one of them. I'm like tripping up on my words because I'm getting choked up. And it made me as a 16-year-old kind of push through into being an adult right away. So I wound up working 7 jobs. I wound up being like the breadwinner between my like faux relationships where we were like renting a house and pretending to be like 30 years old when we like really couldn't afford it at the age of like 18, 19. And that moment between my stepmom and my stepdad choosing to act the way that they did towards me really forced me just to grow up really fast. And I guess the thing that I would tell myself from like, I would say like my 20s is that take time to feel the way that I felt about what had happened to me and also take time to not work. Like, I feel like I spent most of like my 18, 19, 20, that group of years just constantly working. And I wish I would have been working more on my artist at that time instead of like waiting tables at 2 different jobs, maybe doing waiting tables at one job, but then making sure I at least had a day off. Cause I was every day was working, no days off. And I think that fear of disapproval and people started complimenting me saying that like, oh my gosh, you're the hardest working person I know. And my parents never told me that as a child. They never told me that I worked hard because I struggled in school because I have dyslexia. So reading and spelling and comprehension was tough for me. So I wasn't ever like verbally rewarded, even though I wasn't getting all A's. So I think to anyone else out there too, if you're finding yourself like overworking and you know that you're dissatisfied, just make time for your artist, make time for your creative side, because that's what's going to make you happy in the long run. It's not going to be how long you worked at your job for 10 or 20 years and the grind of it all. Like, yes, it can be satisfying, but what also is twice as satisfying is doing something for yourself.
Well, thank you for sharing. And
yeah,
you already know this, but you did not deserve any of the things that you went through, nor does anybody else who goes through tough stuff. Sometimes those things just help make you stronger on the other side. And now you are who you are because of those experiences, and you turned out to be such an amazing person. So I'm giving you the verbal affirmations that you need.
Thank you.
I feel like your love language is words of affirmation because you didn't get any when you were younger?
I feel like it changes now because I'm in like weekly therapy now, which is great. Highly recommend if you can afford it. And I feel like on certain weeks, it definitely is words of affirmation. But then there are some other weeks where it's like physical touch. Definitely like, what is it, acts of service? I used to think acts of service was stupid until I like met a guy who we didn't end up dating, but we were kind of like flinging back and forth. And he like hung a curtain for me. And I was like, I get it now. Like, do you want to like hang that door for me too? Like, it's so interesting exploring all the different acts of love and like how it makes you feel. Because if you don't explore one, you don't know if you have it or not.
Yeah, true. Oh my God. And totally off topic. Have you seen Baby Reindeer?
Yes.
You said when he said he hung your curtain, I almost lost it.
Yes.
Reference. If you haven't seen the show, don't worry about it. Watch it. Yeah, no, that's so true. It's so nice to just be able to accept help, because it's nice to like maybe we're the kind of people that like give. Oh, and then it's so nice to be like, you know what? I receive. Let me just sit back because I'm worth it, you know. And then you receive, and then you give, and then you receive, and it's this nice flow. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and I feel like Baby Reindeer also is a great callback to the parasocial relationship thing. So
yeah, a little stalking,
little stalker moment,
a little stalking. Speaking of stalking, where can everybody find you? We won't give her home address, but where can everyone find you? What are you working on? And, you know, do a good old plug.
Well, right now I'm kind of in the grind on my podcast called Delulu Canoe Pod, which you've been on twice now.
Check it out. It's amazing.
It's so cute. I adore when you come over because you're just like such a breath of fresh air. Like Hazel and I talk about you a lot when we're in kind of our like grumpy era of like, we have to like get together and film a podcast, and which we love doing it, but we all have our moments where you get a little burnt out. But then we're just like, like we need to bring Jackie back because she's just my heart, fresh air. It's you're so delightful.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So
Save the tears.
That's so sweet.
But yeah, so I have my own podcast where we talk about what makes us delulu or delusional. So just anything running rent free in your brain. It's kind of been my baby because podcast takes so much work to get off the ground. It's the long haul. You got to be like till death do us part, basically, with your podcast, which I love because it's nice to have something that you get to grow with the fans. So be sure to check that out. I have an Instagram called Dare Taylor Official, DareTaylorofficial. Good job, dyslexic.
Yeah, where? What?
I had to like visualize.
We're going to link it too.
Yeah. That's basically where you can find like all of my stuff because I Twitch stream. I'm a gamer on the side, full-time actress, singer-songwriter. But if you're looking for like the main hub, everything's there where you can find like my other singing page, my acting skip page. And I would just, love to spread the love between the podcasts too. So let us know.
Definitely check out her podcast. It is so fun and so cute. And if you enjoyed this, you will also enjoy that very much so. And then you can see the 2 episodes I was on. Yeah. Well, Dare, it's been a pleasure having you. I'm definitely going to have you back. I'm sure of it. And it's always a good time to see you. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for hanging.
Bye.
Bye.
What a great name for a podcast. I love it.
I know. I really thought of you too. I was
Dare
like, she's gonna
proof.
love it.